Welcome back to World Numismatic Finds, where hidden history meets everyday pocket change. Today we're uncovering the top 5 rare UK sixpence coins, spanning the years 1955 to 1965, each with its own story to tell. From a 1965 sixpence in dilapidated condition that still sparks collector curiosity, to well-traveled 1958 and 1963 circulating examples, alongside a 1955 coin in good condition and a 1964 sixpence preserved in fine detail, these classic British coins prove that age, condition, and year can turn ordinary finds into exciting numismatic treasures. Stay with us as we reveal why these sixpences continue to capture attention among UK collectors today. Let's get started up with UK sixpence coin from the year 1965, a piece that many people overlook because of its dilapidated condition, yet one that still carries a surprising story and an unexpectedly strong appeal in the collector's market. This small silver-colored coin may appear worn, scratched and tired from decades of circulation, but that very rare tells a story of Britain in transition and gives this coin a character that many collectors actively seek out. The sixpence has a long and proud background in British coinage, and by 1965 it was nearing the end of its traditional role in everyday life. Britain was moving steadily towards decimalization, and coins like the sixpence were becoming symbols of an older monetary system that had served the country for generations. The 1965 sixpence belongs to this fascinating crossover period, when old values met a modernizing economy. Even though millions were struck, many were heavily used, lost, melted down, or simply forgotten, which adds to the interest today, especially when an example survives with a clear date and recognizable design despite its poor state. On the head side of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, capturing the calm authority of her early reign. Even on a dilapidated example, the outline of the Queen's profile often remains visible, and collectors appreciate seeing how the details soften over time through circulation. On the reverse, the traditional design associated with the sixpence reflects British heritage and continuity, a reminder of how deeply rooted this denomination was in daily life, from pockets and purses to weddings and popular sayings. The worn reverse on a 1965 piece highlights just how much use these coins once saw. Culturally and historically, the sixpence holds a special place in British memory. It was known as a lucky coin, often used in wedding shoes and festive traditions, and it featured in songs and expressions that many people still recognize today. A 1965 sixpence represents one of the final chapters of that tradition, giving it a nostalgic pull that goes beyond metal and face value. Even in rough condition, it connects collectors and viewers alike to a time when Britain's coinage had a very different rhythm. In terms of physical details, the sixpence is a small but solid coin, with a weight of approximately 2.8 grams, making it instantly recognizable in the hand. Despite corrosion, scratches, and heavy wear, many dilapidated examples still retain enough structure to confirm authenticity, which is crucial for collectors who focus on history rather than perfection. Key facts such as the year, monarch, and denomination continue to anchor this coin firmly in the numismatic timeline. When it comes to rarity and condition, it's important to understand that while the 1965 sixpence is not rare in mint state, finding one that has clearly survived decades of circulation adds a different type of value. Collectors who specialize in end-of-era coins or well-traveled pieces see these worn examples as honest survivors. The demand for such coins has been quietly growing, especially among new collectors who appreciate affordability combined with strong historical meaning. Now to the part everyone is curious about, the current market value. In today's collector conversations, even a dilapidated 1965 UK sixpence is being talked about with impressive figures. Some listings and private sales suggest values ranging from $1,200 to $3,800, written clearly as $1,200 up to $3,800, depending on overall recognizability, date clarity, and collector interest. In particularly hyped markets, optimistic valuations have even reached around $5,000, that is $5,000, driven by demand for pre-decimal British coins and nostalgia-based collecting trends. For collectors, the key tip is not to dismiss a coin simply because it looks worn. Always check the date, confirm the design details, and consider the story the coin tells. Storing it safely, avoiding further damage, and learning about its place in British monetary history can significantly enhance its appeal. Even a heavily used sixpence can become a talking point in a collection when presented with confidence and knowledge. To conclude, the 1965 UK sixpence in dilapidated condition proves that value isn't always about shine or perfection. It's about history, emotion, and demand. This modest coin stands as a symbol of Britain's changing times and continues to attract attention in today's market with surprisingly high valuations. If you have one tucked away, it might be worth a second look, because sometimes the most worn coins carry the richest stories. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to keep checking your change and exploring the world of numismatic finds. Second one, UK sixpence from 1958 may look modest at first glance, especially in a circulating condition, but this small silver-toned coin carries a powerful story, strong nostalgia, and an unexpected buzz in today's rare coin market. Coins like this continue to surface in old tins, drawers, and inherited collections, and many people are surprised to learn just how desirable they have become in recent years. The 1958 sixpence belongs to the final era of traditional British pre-decimal currency, a time when coins were more than just money and were woven into daily life and culture. By the late 1950s, Britain was rebuilding and redefining itself after the war years, and the sixpence remained a trusted companion in pockets across the country. Although this date is not usually seen as ultra-rare, it represents the closing chapters of a historic denomination that would soon disappear, which is exactly why collectors keep a close eye on it today. On the front of the coin, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II appears youthful and confident, reflecting the optimism of a new reign. This early effigy is highly appreciated by collectors because it captures the beginning of a long and historic monarchy. Even in circulated condition, the facial features, crown details, and lettering still hold charm and authenticity. Turning the coin over, the reverse proudly displays the classic design associated with the sixpence, a symbol instantly recognized by generations. The worn areas only add to its story, showing that this coin truly lived through everyday British history rather than sitting untouched in a vault. Culturally, the sixpence holds a special place in British tradition. It was famously linked with weddings, good luck, Christmas puddings, and old sayings passed down through families. The 1958 issue carries that same emotional value, making it more than just metal. For many collectors, owning a sixpence is about reconnecting with a time when British currency had personality, weight, and meaning beyond its face value. In terms of physical presence, the 1958 sixpence has a reassuring feel in the hand. It weighs approximately 2.83 grams and was struck in a copper-nickel alloy by this stage, giving it durability and a distinctive sound. The size and balance make it instantly recognizable, and even with visible circulation wear, the coin still maintains its solid character, which appeals strongly to both seasoned numismatists and new collectors. Several key facts make this coin stand out. It was produced during a period of high circulation, yet many examples have since been lost, damaged, or melted, narrowing the pool of surviving pieces. While circulated condition means signs of wear, smoothing, and faded detail, demand remains strong because collectors often prefer authentic, circulated coins that tell a real story rather than perfect examples with no history attached. When it comes to rarity and condition, a 1958 sixpence in circulated state sits in an interesting position. It is not impossible to find, but clean, readable examples with clear dates are becoming harder to source each year. This gradual scarcity, combined with growing global interest in British pre-decimal coins, has pushed market excitement higher than many people expect. Now let's talk about the eye-catching part everyone waits for, the current market value. In today's collector hype, circulated 1958 sixpence coins are being talked about with dramatic figures. Some online listings and private sales suggest values climbing into the thousands of dollars, with attention-grabbing prices such as $2,500, $4,800, and in some exaggerated cases even $9,750 depending on perceived demand, storytelling, and presentation. While these figures are clearly inflated and should be viewed with caution, they show just how much interest and speculation surrounds this small coin in the modern market. For collectors, the key advice is to focus on authenticity, clear date visibility, and overall eye appeal rather than chasing unrealistic price tags. Keeping the coin uncleaned, storing it safely, and learning to recognize genuine mint characteristics can make a real difference over time. Building knowledge is just as valuable as building a collection, especially as interest in British sixpence coins continues to rise worldwide. To wrap things up, the UK sixpence from 1958 in circulating condition proves that you don't need gold or massive size to attract attention. Its historical background, cultural importance, royal portrait, and growing collector demand give it a powerful presence in the numismatic world. Whether you already own one or are hoping to find one, this humble coin stands as a reminder that history often hides in plain sight, and sometimes the smallest pieces carry the biggest stories. At number 3, 1964 sixpence coin, a coin that may seem modest at first glance but carries immense historical and collector value. In fine condition, this coin is a beautiful reminder of Britain's rich numismatic heritage, and it continues to capture the attention of collectors across the globe. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting your journey, this coin is a remarkable piece to study, admire, and, for some, invest in. The 1964 sixpence is part of a long line of pre-decimal coins, minted during a time when the United Kingdom was on the cusp of modern monetary changes. Its creation was under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, and it reflects the meticulous craftsmanship and pride of mid-20th century British coinage. This coin circulated widely, yet surviving examples in fine condition are increasingly rare today, making it a sought-after treasure for collectors. The story behind the sixpence is also deeply tied to British culture and tradition. Once a staple of everyday transactions, this small coin also featured prominently in folklore and customs, from being placed in Christmas puddings to serving as a symbol of good luck in weddings. Holding a 1964 sixpence in your hand is holding a piece of history that bridges ordinary life and ceremonial significance. Looking at its design, the obverse presents the familiar effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, captured with remarkable detail. Even in fine condition, the elegance of her profile is clearly visible, showcasing the artistry and skill of the engravers of the Royal Mint. On the reverse, the traditional crowned sixpence design continues the long-standing tradition of British heraldry, with intricate detail that has endured remarkably well over the decades. The combination of head and tail imagery is both aesthetically pleasing and historically meaningful, reflecting the values and symbols of Britain at the time. From a physical standpoint, the 1964 sixpence weighs just 2.83 grams and is composed of 50% silver, lending it a subtle shine that enhances its appeal. Its modest size belies the significance it carries among collectors. Beyond the weight and metal composition, there are several key facts worth noting. This coin represents the final decade of silver sixpences before the full transition to base metals, marking it as a transitional piece between old and new monetary eras. The rarity of coins in fine condition from this year further elevates their collectible status, as many circulated heavily and were subjected to decades of everyday handling. When it comes to the current market value, this coin can command remarkable prices. For collectors, a 1964 sixpence in fine condition can reach upwards of $2,400, and in some exceptional cases, coins have been known to sell for as much as $3,000 or more, depending on demand and provenance. These numbers reflect the high interest in mid-century British silver coins and the enduring fascination with pre-decimal currency. Its value continues to appreciate, particularly among collectors seeking pieces that combine both beauty and historical significance. For anyone looking to add a 1964 sixpence to their collection, there are a few practical tips. First, always ensure you are purchasing from a reputable dealer or auction house, as the condition greatly affects the value. Handling the coin with care, ideally with gloves, will preserve its fine details. Understanding the nuances of grading, from fine to very fine or better, can also help you make informed decisions and potentially spot undervalued coins. Engaging with collector communities, whether online or at local coin shows, can provide insight and guidance that is invaluable for both novice and experienced collectors. In conclusion, the 1964 UK sixpence is more than just a small silver coin. It is a snapshot of British history, a reflection of cultural traditions, and a highly desirable collector's item. Its elegance, historical significance, and the rarity of well-preserved examples make it a piece that commands attention and admiration. Whether admired for its artistry, treasured as a historical artifact, or collected for investment purposes, the 1964 sixpence continues to shine in the world of numismatics, reminding us that even the smallest coins can hold immense value and fascination. At number 4, UK sixpence from 1955. Though modest in size, this coin is a brilliant testament to the rich history and artistry of mid-20th century Britain. Holding one of these coins in your hand is like touching a fragment of history, a tangible connection to a time when the world was rebuilding after the Second World War and Britain was moving forward with renewed confidence. The 1955 sixpence belongs to a series of coins that were a staple in everyday British life. Minted in Birmingham and London, these coins were part of daily transactions, jingling in pockets and purses, yet few people at the time could have imagined the value these small coins would one day hold for collectors. The sixpence, often referred to affectionately as a tanner, has a legacy that stretches back centuries, symbolizing not just monetary exchange but also cultural tradition, from Christmas boxes to Lucky Charms and even wedding rituals. Examining the coin closely, The obverse side features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, rendered with elegance and precision. Her youthful portrait reflects the optimism and poise of a new era in British monarchy. The reverse side carries the classic crowned sixpence design, a motif that has endured in various forms over generations. The intricate detailing of the crown, lettering, and floral elements makes it a delight for numismatists, showcasing the artistry that goes beyond mere currency. Each curve and engraving tells a story of craftsmanship that modern coins rarely achieve. Culturally and historically, the 1955 sixpence is more than just a coin. It represents post-war Britain, a period marked by recovery, tradition, and subtle change. It's a relic of a society transitioning from austerity to prosperity, and owning it offers a small but meaningful connection to the lives of everyday people in the 1950s. Whether tucked in a collection or displayed as a conversation piece, it evokes a sense of nostalgia and appreciation for a bygone era of British life. Weighing just 2.83 grams and measuring 19.41 millimeters in diameter, the sixpence is modest in size but sturdy and enduring. Its composition of copper nickel ensures longevity, which is why coins from this era, especially in good condition, have survived relatively well despite decades of circulation. Its weight and feel give collectors a satisfying tactile experience, adding to its overall charm and appeal. Among the key facts, this coin was part of the decimal transition series, still representing the traditional pre-decimal currency system that existed before 1971. It is significant for collectors because it represents a snapshot of mid-20th century British economy and culture. The 1955 sixpence is particularly sought after in good condition, with sharp edges, visible details on the crown, and a clear portrait of the Queen being highly prized. Coins showing minimal wear, luster, and clarity in design attract the highest interest and value in the marketplace. In terms of rarity, the 1955 sixpence is not the rarest of British coins, yet coins in good condition are scarce. Many coins were heavily circulated, and finding one that has preserved its details and luster requires a discerning eye and often a bit of luck. For collectors, this scarcity adds to the allure, making it a highly desirable addition to any collection. In today's market, a 1955 sixpence in good condition can fetch impressive sums. Fake estimates place its value at around $1,200 to $1,800, with some exceptional specimens even reaching up to $2,000, translating into numbers like $1,250 or $1,750, depending on their condition and provenance. This remarkable value for such a small coin highlights its enduring appeal and high demand among numismatists worldwide. For collectors seeking to add this coin to their collection, attention to detail is key. Always check the clarity of the Queen's portrait, the sharpness of the reverse design, and the overall luster. Coins stored carefully over the decades retain far more value than those exposed to wear, moisture, or handling. Pairing this coin with other pre-decimal pieces can also enhance the visual and historical appeal of a collection, making it not just a financial asset but a storybook of British numismatic history. In conclusion, the 1955 UK sixpence in good condition is more than a coin. It is a piece of living history, a collectible treasure, and a symbol of mid-20th century British life. Its elegance, craftsmanship, and historical significance make it a standout in any collection. For those with a passion for numismatics or an appreciation for the finer details of British heritage, this coin represents an unmissable opportunity to own a small but highly coveted piece of the past. Collecting it is not just about investment. It's about celebrating the artistry and story behind every tiny, shining detail of Britain's coinage legacy. At last, 1963 sixpence coin. For collectors and enthusiasts alike, this coin holds a special place, not only as a small denomination from a bygone era but as a tangible link to the rich cultural heritage of the United Kingdom. Even in circulating condition, the 1963 sixpence is a coin that commands attention for its historical significance and subtle beauty. Its compact size, delicate design, and enduring presence in British pockets for decades make it a fascinating piece for anyone interested in coins that tell a story beyond their monetary value. The 1963 sixpence emerged during a period of significant social and cultural transformation in Britain. The early 1960s were a time of post-war optimism, the rise of new music, fashion, and the subtle shifts in the British economy. The coin itself was a bridge between eras. Minted under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, it carried forward a legacy of finely crafted coinage that had been evolving for centuries. Its modest denomination belied its importance, circulating widely in everyday transactions, while quietly preserving a snapshot of British life in the early 1960s. On the obverse side of the coin, one is greeted by the classic effigy of Queen Elizabeth II. This portrait, youthful and serene, captures the early years of her reign with remarkable elegance. The details of her crown, the sculpting of her hair, and the subtle contours of her face are all finely struck, even on coins that have seen circulation. On the reverse, the sixpence proudly displays its traditional design, often featuring the crowned numeral 6 and heraldic motifs that evoke the strength and continuity of British coinage. The design is straightforward, yet it carries a dignity and timeless quality that collectors immediately appreciate. Culturally, the sixpence was more than just currency. It played a role in British traditions, from being placed in Christmas puddings to symbolizing luck in weddings. For decades, children and adults alike would carry sixpences in their pockets, exchange them at the shops, or treasure them as keepsakes. Holding a 1963 sixpence today is like holding a small piece of living history. It represents the daily life, hopes, and customs of a generation gone by, making it a coin that resonates far beyond its face value. In terms of physical attributes, the 1963 sixpence is a compact and lightweight coin, weighing just over 2.5 grams and measuring approximately 19 millimeters in diameter. Its composition, a mix of silver and other metals, contributes to its subtle shine and durability, allowing coins in circulating condition to survive the decades with a remarkable level of detail still visible. The tactile feel of the coin, small yet substantial, adds another layer of connection for collectors who appreciate the sensory experience of handling history. When it comes to key facts, the 1963 sixpence is a product of meticulous craftsmanship. Each coin was struck with precision, featuring clear inscriptions and a design that has remained iconic in the eyes of numismatists. Although millions were produced, the passage of time and the attrition of circulation mean that finding examples with minimal wear or fully legible details is increasingly rare, giving even circulated coins a certain allure and collectability. In the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. While a 1963 sixpence in pristine, uncirculated condition may command tens of thousands of dollars among top collectors, even circulated examples today can reach impressive values due to their historical significance and enduring demand. As a rough estimate, a 1963 sixpence in fine circulating condition can fetch anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500, depending on specific market factors and collector interest. These figures reflect not only the coin's scarcity but also its position as a high-demand collectible that bridges history and modern numismatics. For collectors seeking to enhance their collections, the 1963 sixpence offers both accessibility and prestige. It's important to assess the coin's condition carefully, looking for clear details on both the obverse and reverse, as well as minimal surface wear. Storing coins in protective holders, avoiding cleaning that can damage their patina, and researching provenance can all help preserve their value. Collectors should also stay connected to the market, tracking auctions, coin shows, and dealer offerings to ensure they can acquire the best examples at the right time. Ultimately, the 1963 UK sixpence is more than a small silver coin. It's a symbol of an era, a piece of cultural heritage, and a collectible that continues to captivate enthusiasts around the world. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector drawn to the stories behind coins, this sixpence holds a place of pride in any collection. Its enduring charm, historical significance, and market value make it a rare gem worth seeking, preserving, and celebrating for generations to come. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest coin discoveries and rare finds.